right, what is going on? Welcome back, or welcome to the channel here, Tri-Effort. I'm Johnny Del Balso, and today we are going to do the Ironman Arizona race recap. It's been 3 weeks since the race has been completed. I've been dealing with some not so great recovery from the race, a little bit of off-season work here, not so much motivation going on to get this race recap out. I did put out a race week vlog with some race footage in there. I've been trying to keep up on like the social media stuff and whatnot, but really I just needed to take some time off. I don't know, rebuild the body a little bit here, rebuild the mind, and just get some motivation going to put this one out there. I know I owe it to all 5 of you watching this to get this race recap out, so we're going to get it done today. We're going to keep this one short and sweet. This is going to be all from memory. I say that all the time, but we're really going to keep this one short because there's no more Ironman Arizona. This was the last one, so usually I like to give all this race insight between the course and the event as a whole, but if there's no more race, there's not many people watching this for that type of insight. But I'm just going to give you pretty much an overview of how the race went for me, how close I was to meeting my goals, which goals I met, which ones I didn't. If you've been following along, I have the Chasing Kona vlog. So obviously that was getting a Kona slot was a big goal for this race. Spoiler alert, I didn't get it, but we are still chasing Kona. So stick around, and yeah, we're still on the hunt there, and we do have some planning going on right now for the 2026 season, which we'll get into after we go over this race. As always, I like showing off some of the stuff you get here. Got the race bib number 363 for this race. Got the swim cap. Got the shirt here. I got the hat on. Got the wristband here. Not going over too much here. I bought a cycling jacket in Ironman Village. I didn't buy a water bottle this time. So I did buy the coffee mug. But anyways, yeah, I didn't buy too much there. I just feel like I don't need to buy all the stuff in Ironman Village so much anymore because they give you the hat, they give you the shirt, and yeah, you get some little souvenirs to, I always say I'm going to make a shadow box, but all I do is just throw all the junk in a cubicle, and I call that like a shadow box. One day I'm going to get some organization going with how I display some of this stuff, but I'm kind of just, I'm racing a lot. I'm collecting a lot of this Ironman memorabilia, and I think it's all going to end up in a junk drawer one day. But anyways, let's get into how this race actually went for me. My time goal for this race, I really wanted to be around that 9-hour Ironman mark. Honestly, I want to do a sub-9 Ironman, but for Arizona, how I was calculating everything out, I felt like I could be very, very close to that. I wanted to do an hour and 10-minute swim. I wanted to do a 4-hour, 35-minute bike, and I wanted to do a 3-hour and 10-minute run. And I figure with some quick transitions, we might be right on that bubble. That's about the time I would need to be in the realm of grabbing a Kona slot. With this new qualification format that they have for Kona, we're racing everybody. Everybody's age graded, they're gender graded, and it's very, very competitive this year. From everything I've been tracking, honestly, I thought I'd probably have to be closer to like 8 hours and 50 minutes. And I'm not totally sure where the last slot went to, but I think it was around that time anyway. So even with my time goals, I wasn't quite there, but I know I'm competitively close to have that be a nice target to chase, and I'm going for it. So I'll say that. I really am going for it. Just give me a good day, and we'll get there. All right, so we're going to hop just right into this race here. Race morning, I think I get up around 4:30 in the morning, drive over to Transition to get the bike set up with the race nutrition, the bottles, put the computer on the bike, calibrate the power meter. After all that's set up, I throw on the wetsuit, make my way to swim start. For age groupers, we started at 6:50 in the morning. I'm not the fastest swimmer, so I don't want to be at the very front of the line, but I want to be pretty much in one of those front groups so I don't have to pass so many cyclists once I get out of the water. It's going to be a 3-lap bike course, and I kind of want to have that first lap to be kind of open roads if I can, knowing I'm not going to have the greatest swim. So I'm already going to have to work through traffic. So that's the plan at least. I get in with the hour and 5-hour 10-minute corral there. That meets the goal time I want for this race. I have swam in this lake before because I did the half Ironman a couple years ago. It's not the greatest body of water to swim in, but I know what I'm in for. The water temperature was, I think, 65 degrees or so. That's pretty comfortable for me, so I chose to wear the sleeveless wetsuit, and that was a good choice for me. I kind of have some shoulder issues. So sometimes the wetsuit, I don't know, just kind of fatigues out the shoulders a little bit quicker, especially in a long distance swim like this. So that was a great move for me. My swim, it went good. This water, as soon as you put your face in it, you can't see anything. Like, my watch beeps every 500 yards, and sometimes I like peeking to see if I'm on pace or whatnot, and I had the watch like right up to my goggles or whatever. You couldn't see shit. So I was just kind of going with the flow. I felt good. I felt like I was maintaining pretty much goal race pace. I was getting the beeps, you know, every 500 yards, so I could kind of keep track of where I was at in this race. The first half of the swim, it just felt like it took forever. And I think I missed a beep or two on my watch because I thought I was at like 1,500 yards, and all of a sudden there's the first turn buoy. And we're doing a big rectangle on, you know, we go out, we make a left, another left, and then we're pretty much back at the finish. So being at that first turn buoy was kind of like, we're already here. I just kind of thought there was something going on with either the watch or the course. Maybe the course wasn't a rectangle. Your mind just kind of, in the heat of the moment while you're racing, it could play some tricks on you. But anyways, I make the turn buoy. I see the next turn buoy, another left, and we're already heading back. And my rhythms, I feel like a robot whenever I get in this race pace rhythm. Everything's just going. The form feels good. I used to have this issue whenever I'd swim that I'd always drift to the right. So I breathe to the right, and I'd always drift to the right while I swim. I know it's because I wasn't rotating to my non-breathing side. I've since corrected that, and in this race, I overcorrected. So I was like I kept drifting to the left, and like I'd peek up to sight, and I'd be like, oh, I got to actually swim to the right. And that just kept happening to me over and over again. So it's like I fixed my rotation issue, but I overcorrected. So that's a little takeaway from this swim for me. But anyways, there's not much to say about it. You know, I tried to do some swim drafting, but I don't know how people do that. I just kind of kept swimming, blazing my own trail in the water there, pretty much right alongside the buoys. I get to the last turn buoy. We're making that left turn there. I actually get trapped under the buoy. I think just the way I was drifting to the left, I went up for air and the buoy was on top of me, and like I couldn't get that breath, so I had to like get back under and make my way out. But everything went pretty good with that swim. Make my way to the exit ramp there, get out, and I see on the watch 1 hour and 13 minutes. So goal time was 1 hour and 10. I felt like I was cruising pretty good in this swim, and I was 3 minutes slower than my goal time. So that was kind of a little bit of a bummer to see, but the swim felt great, and that's the best takeaway. That doesn't change any of the race plans. It's just, okay, let's get through transition, get on the bike, because the bike's my strong suit. So we're gonna make up that 3 minute deficit on this bike, or whatever. Just kind of let's go put down some power is my thought process there. But anyways, make my way to transition, peel off the wetsuit, throw on the socks and shoes. They didn't allow you to have your shoes clipped onto the bike here, so I had to run with the shoes on my feet to my bike, which feels really, really sketchy to me to run on like asphalt with cleats. Very easy to fall on your ass there. So I was just kind of making sure I didn't slip there. But anyways, I get to the bike, get on the bike, make your way through, they have you pretty much kind of go through Ironman Village, is where the mountain line is to the road. You're going through Ironman Village before you actually get on the bike course. It was a little bit of a goofy transition setup. The day prior to the race, Saturday, whenever I went to bike drop off, kind of a funny story. I found the referee and I asked her, hey, where's the mountain line to get to the road for transition? And she didn't really know. And I was like, because it's not on the maps. Like the transition map set is in your athlete guide. Nobody could tell me. And she's like, oh, well, it'll be set up in the morning. And I'm like, well, I'd kind of like to know which way I'm going. And she's like, well, let me ask you this. Are you going to be the first out of the water? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, I hope. And so she like calls over somebody else. I forget who, but she's like, hey, we got an age grouper that thinks he's going to be first out of the water. And I'm like, this dude comes over, oh, you a collegiate swimmer? And I'm like, listen, dude, I just want to know which way the transition goes. I'm not trying to follow somebody. That's not how my race plan works. I don't follow people. I just want to know which way it goes. And then he kind of got serious with me and was like, oh, okay, I get where you're coming from. So he kind of told me which way it would go, but they still didn't have it really figured out. So a little bit irritating, I'd say that. You shouldn't have to be the fastest swimmer, or she even said, or you can be, the first back on the bike. And that's whenever I was like, well, I hope so, because I do. I always want to be in the position to be a leader, not a follower. But anyway, that doesn't really matter whether you're first or last. You should be able to know which way the course goes. So, little goofy. But anyways, get on the bike. This is 112-mile bike, 3-lap course, and it's not the greatest road conditions, but I did pre-ride the entire course that race week leading up, so I knew what I was in for. I had a hunch it was going to be a pretty fast course just from the test rides that I was doing, the watt to mile per hour ratio. Felt like it was going to be quick. I'm kind of excited to see what I could do. My plan for this is put down a pretty aggressive first lap to get through a lot of that traffic, because I know laps 2 and 3, there's going to be more and more people out of the water on the course, and it's probably going to get pretty crowded. And I heard the winds pick up the later you're on this course, so let's be real, no matter what, I want to get through this bike course fast. That's the strategy. Lap 1, I get through there averaging 26.5 miles an hour, 245 watts, I believe, and I'll botch whatever the time was, but it was quick. So I was kind of doing the math in my head, like I could probably average, I'm going to have to back it down. I know that. My plan's not to stay that aggressive for all 3 laps, but I figure I could average over 25 miles an hour for this race if I stay on it. So on the second lap, I back it down to 220 watts. I come through the 56-mile point, which is like your 70.3 distance. I come through that at 2 hours and 11 minutes. So just doing the math in my head, like, this is a 4-hour, 20-something minute Ironman pace. Like, this is quick. I could back it down a little bit and still be well within my time goal. So I'm just trying to keep myself in check here on this ride. I'm not overdoing anything. The heart rate's in check. I'm feeling good. My nutrition's going well. The nutrition plan for the bike, I'm doing 100 grams of carbs an hour. I have 2 32-ounce bottles with Formula 369 carb mix fuel in there. Those each have 100 grams, and then I have 300 grams of Precision Fuels Flow Gel in another bottle there. So that's where my carb intake's coming from. I have all my sodium in there as well. I took, for this whole ride, I took 3,400 milligrams of sodium. My sweat rate is 650 milligrams per 32 ounces. I'm giving you way too much info here. You don't need to know all this. This is individual for me, but I'm just kind of sharing some of my nutrition strategy on the bike. For hydration, I took water at the aid stations probably 3 or 4 times. I grab a bottle, I think it's a 20 or 24 ounce bottle of water, drink as much as I can, fill up my in-frame hydration tank on the bike, and that just perfect plan. Very, very efficient, doing it that way. And yeah, nutrition was spot on for this bike and the run. But yeah, where we're at on this bike right now, everything's going really good. I get to the third lap and I back it down a little bit more. I'm kind of in a lot of traffic now. I'm making my way up to some of the faster riders. So the way these races kind of go for me is I kind of come out of the water pretty behind the fast pack of riders for the most part. By the time I get on the bike, I'm doing all the passing. It's very rare that somebody's passing me. Once I get towards the end of these bikes, once I get around that 100-mile mark, which we did 100 miles at 3 hours and 58 minutes and some change, so that's my best 100-mile time. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, once I get around that 100-mile mark, I start catching some faster riders that probably don't know the work I put in to catch up to them. Maybe they assume that we've been going the same pace or something. So like once I make a pass, I kind of feel them, well, some of them did pass me back, or it's just like they try to like toggle with me. I don't know if that's trying to work with me or something, but it's like they didn't want to let me go. So for that last lap, I had maybe 2 or 3 people doing that with me a little bit, and maybe that's how the way the front pack of swimmers work together on the bike. They do some of that pass and pass back or whatnot out of the draft zone, make the pass back and get yourself out of the draft zone type deal. I don't know. I don't really like that. I kind of just like, again, blazing my own trail and doing what I can. But I'm not trying to burn any matches once somebody passes me back. I'm just trying to do my thing on the bike here. So not sure where I'm going with that, but the last lap did get a little bit congested, but I make my way back to the finish of the bike there. We did a 4-hour, 29-minute and some change bike time, 25 miles an hour, and I believe 220 average watts, or maybe 215 and 225 normalized, somewhere in there. I could throw some stats in the background or whatever, but I'm just trying to go through this as quick as I can. But yeah, very, very happy with the bike. That was a PR bike time for me, and we took 6 minutes off of the goal time I wanted for the bike. So right now, with the hour and 13-minute swim, 4-hour, 29-minute bike, we're kind of on track for goal time here. And in my head, I'm like, this could be sub 9-hour Ironman if I could put together a nice run. If I could run to my potential, we could do this. So that's my thought. I make my way over to T2 there, and I make my way right into the porta potty because I had to go to the bathroom. So did that. I figure, let me just take care of this now so I could start this run fresh and feeling good. Hopefully that doesn't happen again on this run is my thought there. So a little bit longer T2 transition time. I think it was around 3 or 4 minutes. Not horrible, but I wanted to have quicker transitions than that. But with the bathroom trip, I'm all good there. So anyways, I make my way onto the run course. We have 3 loops of about 9 miles to do here. The run course is a mix of like concrete, this sandy dirt terrain, and a little bit of asphalt. Not my best or favorite surfaces to run on, but it's all good. It's a pretty nice course actually. And the temperature now is maybe 80 degrees or so. I kind of forget, don't quote me on that. But so we gotta pay attention to our hydration intake and all that, our sodium, make sure we don't cramp up. Whenever I did this 70.3 here a couple years back, it was 100 degrees on the run. I did have some cramping issues. My run pace slowed way down. So I was I've kind of had that in my head. Like, I'm coming back to Arizona. I'm going to redeem myself on this race for the full Ironman. I want to swim faster, bike faster, and run faster than I did in that 70.3. I want to redeem myself here. That's kind of where the mindset is on this run. But really, I'm trying to go out at goal pace here. My goal for this run was 3 hours and 10 minutes. So that should be a 7-hour and 15-minute pace per mile. I go out at 7s. I always feel a little bit better at the start of the run. So I always go out a little too hot, I think. But I'm feeling good up to the first maybe 7 miles or so. I'm holding that 7-minute pace. And I kind of feel, before this first loop's even over, I feel I got to back it down. And I do. So I back down to goal pace. I'm feeling a little bit rough after that first, I'd say around 10 miles. I'm starting to feel maybe I can't sustain this. And I'm going to have to really back it down. So I believe maybe the halfway point of this run is where I start really paying attention to the aid stations. I do this walk through the aid station protocol where I'm walking, I'm getting all the nutrition, all the hydration, everything I need, and then run to the next aid station. It's a good strategy to use, but I don't like having to do that at the halfway point of the marathon here. So either I went out too hot on the run, I don't think I cooked it too much on the bike. I feel like I came off the bike feeling pretty good. Heart rate and everything was in check. But something's amiss on this run for me that I have to back it down a little bit more. It could be the temperature, 80 degrees. That's not optimal running weather. So that's, thinking about it, that's a very good possibility. So maybe I should have just backed down the pace a little bit and actually went out at goal pace, not quicker than goal pace. So I made the same mistake in Nice for World Championships. I went out too fast, and I had to do the walk the aid station. So I need to learn, I need to practice what I preach here, I think. So anyways, at the halfway point, walking the aid stations, I'm running in between. I'm probably doing a 7-minute, 35-second pace, running in between with that aid station walk. So not too bad. I'm not falling off too much. I'm feeling okay, but I see Mike Era, he's there to support me, filming me and whatnot. I think I just look at him and I'm like, this stuff is fucking hard. Like, I don't think I have it in me today. And it's mentally, that doesn't mean I'm going to quit. It means I don't have that goal in me today. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold on to that. I'm already having to fall off pace. I don't think I'm going to reel myself back in. So he's just, kind of gives me the motivation, like, hey, just, keep focus on this mile. And, you don't know how other people are feeling as well. My competition, I'm trying to reel in my competition, and I feel like me slowing down is them pulling away from me, or the Kona goal slipping from me. And he kind of reminds me, you don't know how other people are feeling. They're going through the same shit as you. He's totally right there. And I kind of just keep turning the legs over mile by mile, clicking them off, getting through the aid stations, executing my race. And I do, I think I do a pretty good job keeping myself together. The nutrition was good. I was doing 75 grams of carbs an hour, drinking, taking electrolytes, whatever I can at the aid stations. I don't really, I could tell you I was probably getting 30 ounces of fluids in an hour, and I know I'm hitting my sodium intake. I'm running with a flask, like a rubber flask that has all my electrolytes in there. So I sip those, and then I go through the aid stations and get my water and Coke or whatever. Grab an orange slice, grab a banana slice, grab whatever they're handing out, the aid station buffet. So that's the plan there. That works good. Guts in check. No more bathroom breaks. Everything's feeling good. It's just the legs are tired. I do the last loop. I make my way towards the finish, and run through that finish chute. I see the family, see the finish, the magic red carpet. I swear, as soon as your legs hit that carpet, your feet hit that carpet, all the pain goes away for like that stretch going into the finish line arch there. But yeah, I run through, put the hands up, 9 hours, 10 minutes, and 12 seconds. So I'm very, very happy with that time. That's from where I was feeling halfway through that run. I kind of thought that there was a good chance that this run could really fall off, and I would totally blow the time there. So to be pretty much right in the ballpark of what goal time was, I wanted to be between 9 hours and 9:10. That's pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. That gave me 6th in my age group, 21st overall of the amateur field, and I beat a few pros. So I feel like that's some good takeaway here. I had, especially on the bike, I had some pros on the bike there. So they're kind of doing a different race. They got, I don't draft either, but they have some slightly different rules, but I feel like I put down a pretty damn good bike split there that I'm pretty proud of. So anyways, yeah, that's my Ironman Arizona recap. I'm very proud of that race. That time was good. It wasn't good enough for Kona. I'm not totally sure where the last slot went to, but I know I know like even 4th place in my age group, he didn't get a slot. So you really had to be under that 9 hour mark for a slot. So the way I see it, I'm probably 10 minutes off, but I have 10 minutes of potential. Give me a good day, give me a good race, where I don't fall apart as much as I did here. I could get that. So I'm pretty confident with that. I'm rolling with that for my next Ironman. We're going to target Ironman Jacksonville in May. So that is the next crack at chasing Kona here. I'm looking forward to that. Me and Mike Arrow, we're going to race that one, and we are going to do a tune-up race in Puerto Rico March 15th. So we signed up for that. We're going to get him in some more of these vlogs and whatnot. He did a great job filming my race vlog for Arizona there. He really helps me out quite a bit. I help him out. I coach him. So really, really proud of what he's got going on, what he's doing, and just everything. We got some plans to put some of our stuff together here and make the content a little bit more interesting. So excited for that. But yeah, he's back in training. I'm doing like an extended off season kind of strength build right now. So I'm going to do probably 4 or 5 more weeks of this, try to make some gains. I want to build these shoulders up for swimming. I need to build these legs up for cycling, and just kind of bulletproof my body for I don't know, higher volume, and just kind of some weak areas that I learned about myself, my body this season. I'm trying to rebuild and kind of prehab for next season. So I have some issues I need to correct. I could go through everything. Maybe I'll make a video about everything I'm working on, but just some biomechanics of my body needs corrected to help me swim better, cycle, and run. Just my form's a little bit off. So anyways, I'm rambling, but I don't know what else there is to say. I think we covered everything. So that's it. I'm going to go make some food. And oh yeah, I didn't even show off the finisher's medal yet. So that's what we got. And my aunt, she actually ordered me the real deal shadow box for this race. So I'll be able to display that. But yeah, this one's pretty cool. So thanks for tuning in. And yeah, stick around for more.